There's one. Set for stun.
3 guys sitting in a dark room that smells like bad cucumbers.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Inconceivable!
Now featuring 11 listeners.
This is the Unique Geek.
Engage.
You slimy scumbag, get on your face and give me 25.
This is the Unique Geek.
And welcome to another edition of 50 Days of DragonCon, the podcast where John disappears, and then Lee disappears, and then people are here. But joining me, as always, is the lovely, and sometimes the only person that's here, Lee. Lee, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey.
I'm doing very well. Hey, we're in the podcast that no matter what goes forward.
Yes.
I had to be out for a few because let me tell y'all, after antibiotics,
how are you feeling?
sometimes I'm feeling much better. And I will tell people, if you get canker sores and you get a lot all at once and they're really, really miserable, call your local doctor because they have this wonder thing that is kind of a gel that you put right on the canker sore in your mouth or on your cheek or under your tongue or wherever. Or if you're somebody like me who had them everywhere in my mouth, it fixes it in like 2 days. So, because otherwise I was crying a lot and could not talk because they were right on the tip of my tongue, John. Right on the tip.
Yeah.
Really
I heard you trying to talk. And for me, I spent the last week driving back and forth across the state of Florida repeatedly. Sometimes left to right, sometimes up and down.
There you go. But it's done now. You're back home.
And my apologies to those folks I missed, especially Sarah, who was here yesterday. But Lee took over. You may or may not have heard that podcast yet, but it will be coming out soon.
The theater one was yesterday.
The theater one, yep. Cigar one is coming out tonight.
We're going to put up later. Yeah,
it's coming out tonight. Yeah, it should be.
Oh, okay. So there'll be 2 tonight.
About 8:30 tonight. Oh. Well, I mean, yes, technically.
Hey, no. That was
how these things work. Let's talk about DragonCon. Let's stop talking about our podcast. People know where it is. They found it. Otherwise,
and just y'all, this
never
is great.
understood promoting our podcast on a podcast.
John, if I ever make fun of you again for keeping all the producing buttons going, I am so sorry. I will never do it again. There are too many buttons. There's many buttons.
There's a few.
There's so many buttons because I couldn't figure out which one was which. And it was not good, but it was okay. I got through them and we had fun. And then I also did oops once because thank God it was yesterday with theater who's like, no, you're not on yet. You forgot to hit start broadcast. So we did that again. I was only.
Well, that's unfortunate that I don't have that recorded.
I am really glad you don't.
I mean, I know that the podcast is recorded, but I didn't have the pre-show recorded. Anyway, go on,
John.
Let's talk about DragonCon.
We are 9 days plus 20 hours till DragonCon.
As of this recording,
hard to believe. As of this recording, which is hard to believe.
And sad for me.
I know, we're going to miss you. But I did say yesterday, and I'm sure there are people doing it, was that somebody just found a brand new wonderful fandom, and they're now 10 hours a day doing that, and the other 10 hours a day doing their new costumes for it, because they can't love a new fandom and not do costumes. And so there's things like that. And it's crazy, people. It's crazy. 9 days. Do not fall in love with anything new. Only watch stuff you already know right now.
Well, I mean, the reality is there's not much new coming out right now. So
right now we are in a little bit. Well, Ahsoka, didn't she just start? We already loved Ahsoka.
She starts tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
We already loved Ahsoka. So
Lee's actually saying Sarah's saying it's less time than that because DragonCon starts on Monday.
DragonCon starts on Thursday, which I understand. Wednesday is the new Thursday, and you want to put Monday to being the new Thursday. But that's not up to me, and I'm just going to say, by the way, y'all can ask about that in the DragonCon app, that you want another day or two or whatever. So, because remember, we're going to start talking about this. Rate and review. Please, please, please. When you get there, don't do it now. There's nothing on the app, at least as far as I set up. But yeah, some setup volunteers do arrive before Thursday, but that's the volunteers. The actual going forward, there are panels to see, starts on Thursday. So stop it. I'm not reading any of these comments.
Jerry's pointing out that according to AJC, which is never incorrect, article, Atlanta Journal, was it Atlanta Journal Constitution?
Yes, that's the AJC,
something like that. Yeah. On the new leadership, the con starts this Thursday. Apparently.
Well, that's not correct. Yes. And so all of a sudden it will come out later.
Facts are not always their strong point.
That is not always their strong point, nor is actual fact checking. They've had problems with that in the past. But John,
yes.
The other thing is,
I'm awake.
We are having Regina. We are going to be talking to Regina. This is not going to be a live one, but we're going to be talking to Regina.
Oh, it's not. I probably should make sure that that's not then. Okay, go on.
Okay. Well, I already put it on.
You put the broadcast, so.
Well,
let me go. I'll go fix that.
No, but
anyway,
I set it for a private broadcast on
anyway, go on. Keep talking.
But we're going to have Regina here. And so when Regina's here, we would love your questions. So please call us on our comment line, email us at 50days@theuniquegeek.com and tell us these are questions you would like to ask programming. Excuse me, hiccup. Regina, whoever, because it's really important. We want to know these things. And I know the biggest question everybody has is, what can I ask to the media guest? Mm-hmm. And right now, all I know you can ask is about theater. No idea about the other stuff, but keep watching your DragonCon app. Keep watching the DragonCon website. I just found out yesterday that Sean Astin and Elijah Wood are going to be at DragonCon, and my husband's already made fun of me because, that came out like on Facebook on the 17th. I'm like, okay, I don't understand why you want me to try to keep up with that, but we're going to be great, and it's going to be wonderful, and I can't wait because you know what, John? I'm excited about this because we have so many tracks, but have so many new shows. And one of the tracks that we're going to talk to right now, which is Urban Fantasy with Carol. Hi, Carol. You're coming on in a second. Hi, Carol. Hi. With Urban Fantasy, there are so many shows. There are so many shows and books about vampires and werewolves and demons, and that's under Urban Fantasy. And Carol, so tell everybody, what is Urban Fantasy?
Urban fantasy typically is set at least for the majority of the narrative, whether it's a book or a show, it is set in the real world, a recognizable world to us. Not, there might be a situation where you have portals, between
portals,
like that, but there, the majority of the action is set in a recognizable world, like, the one that we all live in. And it's got that little tweak of the supernatural and some, which can involve magic. It can involve magical creatures, which you have mentioned some of, and that's certainly just the tip of the iceberg. So that's kind of urban fantasy in a nutshell.
There you go. And those are both, and your urban fantasy does both books and shows and movies or movie series, as it were, for that. Is that correct?
Yes, we are considered a hybrid track, so we do cover both of those things. And I typically make a effort to, divide the programming pretty much half and half to make sure that both get, both sides get covered.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And so now, John.
I was going to say, is it true that any show with the word werewolf in it is yours? I mean, we were sitting here before the show. We counted three or four that are current things that have either wolf or werewolf in the title. Yep. That would fall under urban fantasy.
I guess technically, to say that is an absolute, but I think that there is something to your theory that it's probably there's a good chance it would be either us or horror, probably. So
Yeah.
depending on
A or B. It depends on how much gore.
Except
I guess.
Airwolf. Airwolf is
Yeah,
not yours.
well, yeah, Airwolf doesn't count. And please don't ask Sci-Fi Classics to do it, because it was not sci-fi nor a classic. But hey, that's me. But yes, Werewolves. Now, what you got everything going on. Now, one of the things, because you have so much, you're really kind of trying to focus on the big shows or new shows this year. Is that correct? Like, you're not, like, if something hasn't been back on yet from 2021 maybe, or
Right.
22.
Right. If we have, and it will take, for example, one thing that is kind of sad is that later this week, I think it's Thursday, is when Ragnarok finally comes back. Well, that's one of our shows, but for everybody to have seen the whole thing before con is kind of unlikely. So
Probably
I had it
not.
on the schedule, a fan panel for that on the schedule initially, and took it off. If a show that we cover does not have new content, then we're typically not going to cover it on a given day, or in a given year, unless it's something like Buffy or Supernatural, because those are kind of the basic, those are the kind of the basic urban fantasy media. Those are the ones that were there from the beginning. And anyway, so that is kind of how I decide, is if there's new content. There's a show called Surreal Estate that was on Sci-Fi about a real estate company where they have to try to sell houses that are actually haunted or have some kind of demonic activity. Yeah.
I saw that. Yes.
And it was really good, but then it got canceled by Sci-Fi, but then it got revived. But it won't be coming back on until in October. So we're not going to be covering it, because the first season aired so long ago that next year we'll cover, we'll be able to cover it in person. I may do something with it online. I do a lot of virtual programming for things that we do miss.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to do that for Ragnarok. We will have sometime in September, we will have an online panel for that. So anybody who happens to see this, stay tuned to our Facebook page, because it'll get announced there, where it'll be live, so that people can chime in with comments if they would like to.
Yeah. And again, so you said it's on your Facebook, and your Facebook's pretty easy to find, Carol. Even I can find it, which is basically DragonCon Urban Fantasy, folks. You'll look that up, you pop right there. Right. And yes, you should follow it. She does do a lot of during the year programming, which is always fun too. I was just talking with Carol before we got live about Wolfpack, which is just the cheesiest of the cheese, but boy, oh boy, do I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that show. So I love some good cheesy. If it's good cheesy TV, I'm great. I also really like bad cheesy TV, but not to the point where I'm like waiting to get the next week, right? I can watch I can wait until there's nothing on during early December, so I'll watch that now. But yeah. So what are some of the shows you're going to be really talking about this year? Or what are some of the panels that you're going to be talking about with shows or things like that?
We do. So as far as the fan panels for some of our shows goes, we will of course do Supernatural. We'll have a Supernatural panel on Saturday evening. But the other thing we're doing with that is that on Thursday night, we have been doing this over the past couple of years. I started it in 2021. And so it's kind of nice when you can divide it up. Okay, we'll do the first 5 seasons and then anyway, what we have is a competition of there are 5 panelists who have picked between, and this year's going to be seasons 11 through 15, and people pick one to defend that this is why it was the best kind of thing. And they have only 5 minutes to make their argument. There's time for some discussion with the audience. And then at the end, the audience votes on who actually made the best defense. And it's been a lot of fun. So we do that on Thursday night. So we will be doing the the supernatural stuff. Good Omens is back, and that's one of our shows. So we'll be doing a fan panel for that, and also for Wednesday. So I expect those are popular. We are also going to do some. We all are doing, this has not a fan panel, but plug for the Buffy Horror Picture Show again, 2 showings of that. And in addition to that, we're going to do a panel called Buffy's Descendants. And it's about how the main protagonists of Lost Girl and Winona Earp have kind of, how they carry on that tradition, and how they kind of compare and contrast. How are they
kind
the
of
same?
That chosen one. Yeah,
Right.
very cool.
And so,
I like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
As my computer moves,
And then just a lot of the
dog.
other. I try to give some time to all of the shows we cover. Some years that becomes more difficult than others, but we always make the effort. So we have a lot of that going on.
Yes, it's always hard. And I love how you're doing that. Like they have to defend which of those. It's so funny when you talk about Supernatural. I just remember reading all the early articles when Supernatural came out and it became such a big hit. And Eric Kripke keeps saying, "Oh, we're only going to do 5 seasons. I've got 5 seasons of stories. We're done. After 5 seasons, I'm gonna, well, I'll go to my next new thing." And I'm like, and you said there are seasons 11 through 15, and I think. Is that it? Or were there more after that? 15 was it? Okay.
It ended.
So, now I'm just waiting on, Supernatural, The Next Generation, or
wasn't the Winchesters? Wasn't there?
Yeah, well, there was
recently
the prequel, which is the Winchesters. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we will have a few for that too.
Real quick before we get too far away from it, the Good Omens panel. When is that?
Friday night.
Friday. Okay, I think somebody misheard it as Wednesday.
It's not Wednesday, Jerry.
It's not Wednesday.
Chandler.
I thought he was joking. I saw that.
No, he always is like that. Who knows?
Do you have a Wednesday panel? In other words, a panel about the show Wednesday.
We have
on the show. We'll have a panel about the show Wednesday, and that's on Sunday morning. So,
and I love
so if you're officially confused, the Wednesday panel is on Sunday, which is never mind.
Right.
And
well,
I
just did it on purpose. Well, I couldn't put a Wednesday panel on Wednesday because, unfortunately, not unfortunately.
Carol, don't give him an opening, man. Don't give him an opening here. Do not.
I know. I remember for years you were saying, no, the con does not start till Friday, and look at us now.
And it's all John's fault. It's all John's fault, by the way.
He did it. That's right. He kept talking
I'm
about
totally
it.
blaming him.
But
Totally
another Buffy-related panel I should mention is that I'm hoping that people don't throw things at each other. I'm hoping we can keep it calm and nice, is that we're having a Spike versus Angel discussion, which is basically just a discussion of the two characters and how they're alike, how they're different, and kind of their long, ongoing, complicated relationship. So,
and you're not putting Riley in there. I mean, somebody's going to bring up Riley. I just know it.
I do know how. I mean, I kind of know what this will probably. What lane it will get in at some point, but I'm going to try to steer it back to the characters themselves.
You'll
and
do
not
it.
Just I'm quite sure Riley and Ken.
Zan Bowden just said that Riley equals Ken, and that's okay. Can he sing? Because Ken can sing.
I don't know. I've never met him, so I wouldn't know. But,
right. Okay. Sorry. We'll get back on track here. You're gonna keep that. You're gonna be the moderator, and you're gonna keep it on track. I know you will. I know you will. I do think it's. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here now. Do you remember? I just have the Supernatural Babies. We played it at like Muppet Babies. I have that little song in my head right now, and. Muppet Babies, we do the same for you. I'm just sitting here thinking Supernatural Babies, and that would be wrong that I'm thinking that, but I am. Okay, you also, we talked, it is. Okay. And that was, and by the way, if somebody does make it you got to call me because I did give you a really bad idea that you're probably going to make a lot of money from. But you also have books that, yeah, right. Come on, man. We have nobody who does anything for this. You also have a lot of books and you have a lot of authors coming to DragonCon. So how are you, and you told me something about how many you had set up. So how are you kind of like setting up some of your book panels or things of that nature? Just some ideas. You don't have to give us the exact. Yeah.
Right. Well, anybody who follows our Facebook page, hint, hint, has an idea of, I mean, I did post the, the tentative schedule there a few weeks ago, so people have an idea of who is on or what the panels were. And then more recently, after people came through and said, yes, I will be on this panel, they agreed to, once they agree to keep the panel, then it's like, okay, it's fair game to let everybody know. And we are featuring on our program this year over 70 authors. So it's a very packed schedule. And some of those authors appear on book-related panels only. Some appear on book-related panels and fan panels, because I have some people who enjoy doing both. So we do have a lot of that going on. As far as topics go, one of the things I'm really excited about is, because it's one of my favorite subgenres to read in currently, is I'm doing one on dark academia. And so I'm very excited about that one. That's our very first panel on Friday morning. I almost said of the con, and then I was like, nope, not anymore.
Nope. Yep. There actually are going to be panels on Thursday. We know there are tracks doing it.
I have two. Yeah. And we've got,
what is dark academia?
Doing a Rachel Kane memorial panel as well on Thursday.
Oh, nice. Evening. That's nice. What are you doing? What is dark academia? Now I'm a little, I don't know what that is.
Dark academia, if you're familiar with a book that came out many years ago called The Secret History, it was, all this mystery, and there was lots of backstabbing, literally, and death, and all of these things going on at a university. And that was kind of got people interested in it. But the kind I'm interested in is the speculative stuff, where you've got people who are magic users that are, part of, this kind of academic institution. There are some are in libraries, some are, and some of it is even, schools for adolescents and stuff like that. And where there's always something going on behind the scenes where you don't really know what is the whole purpose. And it's like one of the taglines for one of the really great books in the genre called the Atlas. Well, there's the Atlas Paradox, which is nominated for a Dragon Award. But in the first book in the series, one of the taglines is "Knowledge is carnage." So it's like, well, what do you do for? What do you do to gain this? And anyway, so I just find the subject really interesting, and I've got some folks on the panel who also do, and I think we're going to have a good time. And basically what I do is I look at, now that one I said, okay, I'm going to do it anyway, even if it was just me up there talking with all the people in the audience, I still would have done it. But as it turned out, I did have some people that I knew of who were fans, and that I was able to build an actual panel around it. But typically what I do is I look and see, okay, this is our pool of authors that we have. What do they actually write about? And then I start building ideas from there. And there are a few people that when they come, like Jim Butcher, like Patricia Briggs, and like Sherilyn Kenyon, that you need to give them their own solo panel, because otherwise people are going to want to ask them questions and not pay as much attention to the rest of the people on a panel when they are on panels with other people.
Yep.
So I always have done that, and I will always continue to have those. But one thing that we're doing that was actually based on some feedback from the app last year, and this was a person who said, and I quote, "This is how it began." She said, "Well, Carol is good at herding cats." I'm not kidding. That's what it said. And
That's
so
a good thing.
she suggested this idea, which I kind of adapted. So, and I actually don't know if it was a woman or not because it's anonymous, but what we're doing is it's called Your Turn. The audience asks the questions, and what they're going to do is I've got a panel of 5 authors we're going to have the audience submit questions that they would like to ask of the panel, and then we'll see how that all goes, and we'll see if it does become, a kind of a task of herding cats, or if it's that kind of exercise, then it might not happen again. But if it turns out to be fun, and kind of what I was envisioning from it, we will do that. But we have lots of interesting topics that people can look at if they look on the as I said, I have posted the schedule there on the Facebook page so people can see what the topics are, and now they'll even see who is on each panel. I've got one called The Trouble with Magic. That we have one on vampire variety in urban fantasy because even
I'm like vampire variety shows or vampire variety.
It could be both, but this is a panel of authors, so it's primarily for them discussing that, but they will probably get into some of the media representations as well. But just to talk about how many different types there are. So I thought, well, and especially in urban fantasy, that's the case. I think there's a wider, I think there's a wider breadth of the type of vampires you see, as opposed to most of the ones in horror. They might look nice, but really all they want to do is rip your throat out. And now I'm simplifying that. That's a gross simplification, but there's a little bit of truth to it. Whereas in urban fantasy, they may want to just live next door to you because they just want to be living next door to you.
Well, and I think, John, you're bringing up Carol's schedule, but I also want to say, Carol, you talked about the Dragon Awards, which is great. By the way, folks, the nominations have been done. It's up there to go look at what shows, people, books, whatever were nominated. And you can vote up to the Friday of con. So if you're still wanting to vote and you haven't you haven't signed up, you can do it. DragonCon.org/awards. So there we go. And so that would be a good thing. Yes. And then, as we said, you can find Carol's schedule. Although everything is subject to change.
Yes, exactly.
Just be prepared. The app will be the most updated. This is a tentative schedule until you see it. So,
Correct. Jerry points out that even in actual lore, there are dozens of different vampires in most cultures, so many go underused. So.
Very true. Very true. So awesome. That is very cool. Now, Carol, the other thing is you do have media guests, and that will be. I know right now you guys have had all your. I don't know if you've had all your meetings, but I know that the plan right now, or however the questioning of the media guest is going to go, but you do have some. Is there anybody you really want to hit and say, we can't wait until this person, or this will be a first timer maybe, or?
Well, we're excited, whenever we get people, just because it's a great opportunity for, the fans to be able to, connect with, the different folks. And so we have, we're going to scroll through them.
There are lots and lots of guests.
We have Lauren German. He's got a plan. We have Lauren German and Leslie Ann Brandt and DB Woodside from, one particular media
show that was on a while ago,
really
but still has comics and other things. Yep.
Yeah,
Got it.
And so we're very excited about that. And then Matt Davis and Ben Levin, and Quincy Faust and Stephen Kruger from another couple of related shows that were under the same umbrella. But I do believe that there's going to be more information given to people. But what
there will be, yes.
Everybody will know about what they can do. But there is a plan. We do have, there will be some very specific things that we are doing, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. That even though these individuals are not permitted to talk directly about their characters or the shows that you might know them from,
right?
These questions are going to be a lot of fun. So I think that it will be, probably, I think the best case scenario for what, if the alternative is not having them at all, this is pretty darn good. So.
Well, and I keep making, and again, folks, email us, comment line. You'll get that information later, but the email is easy, 50 days at theuniquegeek.com. We're going to have Regina, the queen of programming, on, and John and I will ask her questions. So if you have a specific question, send it. I was just reading another article today about a TV show that just finished its second season. Yeah. Third season. Second, I don't know, whatever. And it has some pointy eared people on it. And, I wanted to talk about, how does a character use food to show how they're feeling about other characters, right? Because, food is love, or food is really irritated at you. You never know. So, those are the kind of questions I'm going to ask. And if I get there, which probably I won't, because I say that every time I'm going to go to this panel and then, oops, something happens.
Jerry suggests asking Anson Mount what his favorite Lego set is.
I think that's a great question. I am not going to joke. I think that is pretty darn good. That is pretty great. Okay, so Carol, one more time. What's the best place to find information about your track for right now, just like updating and things like that, and after con?
Facebook. The Facebook page, it stays active all year long. Right now, when it's the few months heading up to con, probably more so. But then when it gets this close, maybe not quite as much as people wish, because I'm too busy doing the stuff that to actually show everything. But that's the best place. We do have the YouTube channel, which has a lot of content. We had our Supernatural Rewind series where we once a month did one season of the show. Last year it was Buffy Watch. We did the same thing. And, I've had multiple author interviews. I think there are 21 of them on there now. And
very cool.
So, and the YouTube channel, again, if you just go plug in DragonCon Urban Fantasy, it'll pop right up and you have access to watch any of those. I do have those. I do have all of the ones that I have done other than the Buffy Watch. I didn't link all of those, but the others are linked in the app.
Okay.
So when people get them, they can watch them, and they will be on the Facebook page. That's where the link will go. But they're on all of them except one. There will be a premiere of one on the Facebook page during con, and one I was very happy to have. So, and that one of the author interviews. So that will go up, and people can see that. But those two places are where you're going to get, the most information and content from us. And something else I did mention the horror picture show, and I do want to mention, you had talked about charity earlier, or did you want to talk about that, Peter? Okay.
Oh, no,
please do.
Go
Please
on,
do.
chat it up.
Well, what we do on the track, and what we've been doing for the last several years, is we have what we call a battle of the UF track show fandoms.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do, what I've got I've actually got them in a closet here in this room. I've got little plastic bins with the name of the different shows on each one. And so people, and these are typically our current ones, but what we do is like, we will have ones for the properties that are being, represented at con this year. It won't have the name of it on them in the ballroom, but it will in our track room. And then what people do is, if they would like to contribute to DragonCon's charity this year, which is Cure Childhood Cancer, then they can vote for their favorite fandom by putting some, a little bit of a donation in whichever of those containers they like. Now, if they have a hard time deciding, because we have so many fantastic shows to pick from, or if they don't watch a lot of television and they're more there for the book-related content, then we also have what we call a book bucket, and they can put it in that. But it's just kind of a fun way to get people interested in, to making a donation to a good cause.
Very good. That's very good. Cure childhood cancer. That's it. We are going to be talking to charity later this week, so that'll be great as well. So yeah. We got charity and disability and parade. All those people that are just so much fun, and we want to get them very close to con, so your head is thinking of them all the time while you're at con. And do remember something, folks. Remember, you can't, if you're flying, you don't want to have all that change.
It just weighs you down.
It just weighs you down, and it makes you take more time at TSA, and nobody wants to take more time at TSA.
It's TSA. Who knows? Maybe that, that weight throws off the balance of the plane to one side or the other.
I was thinking about going.
You don't want that. So, I mean, really,
the little thingies, and
really,
so go on, drop it. Drop it.
Saving people's lives in more ways than one.
Exactly. And you don't just do it. Just drop those.
I go directly to an airline accident occurring because somebody has too much change in their pocket. Anyway, a little bit of my insight. I got another thing to write down to talk about in therapy.
There you go. There we go. Let's go on and do that one too. All right. So now it is time, John, for your part.
Yes. We're going to play a game with you, Carol. If you check out the private chat, you should see a link to Jackbox, yep, and the room code there. If you can pull up another tab or whatever on your browser. Jerry did want to say this, since this is Urban Fantasy, I'm obligated to plug Rome by Bill Mulligan, Demons vs. Lawyers, so you kind of don't know who you're supposed to root for unless you're rooting for them all to go down, which is probably typically what you want to do.
Well, I mean, yeah. If the demon eats the lawyer, that's great. The lawyer's gone. But then if it's a bad demon, see, there could be a good, well, not really a good demon, but at least a chaotic neutral demon. But if it's a bad demon, they could then get indigestion from eating the lawyer, and yay, then it's two birds, one stone. Right?
Well, and I will say that Bill will be on the panel that we have on the track about demons this year. So yes, so he will get a chance to be there. I haven't seen him in a few years, so I think it's even been since the before time. So I'm looking forward to seeing him too.
Well, the before. I always love how we all call it that now. Before.
That's
before
right.
What? Before. Or as my nephew loves to call it, the corona. The corona is bad, Aunt Lee. Yeah. I'm like, well, yes, it is. In many, many terms of that term, yes, the coronas are always bad. There you go. All right, John.
Carol, are you able to get in?
I
Oh.
am. Well, I have to click play.
There we go.
Now
There you go.
I'm
She
there.
clicked her little
Alright.
person. Her
So
little
let me
animal.
go ahead and add to the stream. If anybody in the audience wishes to play, tonight's room code is BCLG. BCLG. If you head over to jackbox.tv and enter that room code, you should be. Whoa, that was quick. All right.
That
So
was
we're
very
all full.
people. They haven't
Yeah,
been
we're
able to
all-
play for a
people-
week. They were ready, John. They have
Yeah.
been like waiting. 'Cause
Apologies
I
to anybody who
could
missed out, but
I
But,
didn't click on anything, so I don't think.
No,
one of
you
them
just
is-
clicked
you're
on your
good.
name. There you are. You're
Oh,
Carol.
mine's
You're in-
automatic. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. I'm the pulsing white thing. Okay.
I didn't say it.
Welcome.
I
I'm
wasn't.
Cookie Masterson, and this is Fibbage 4, the game where we encourage
John,
you to lie.
up.
Yes.
Unlike my bathroom
Up a little.
mirror, which never lies. 8 players? Okay, Cookie, stay calm. You trained for this. Oh, and if you're not playing, don't forget you can still join the audience. Audience members earn points of their own by spotting the truth and tricking the players. Let's go.
Woo!
This is round 1. I'm handing out 500 points for each player you fool with your lie. And you'll net a cool 1,000 for finding the truth. Give this one a shot. Oh la la. The first photo transmitted by transoceanic radio facsimile, a precursor to the modern fax machine, was a glamour shot of none other than blank. Write your lies now.
And remember, PG-13. So, while they're doing that, I'll go back through some of these comments that we've had. There was a slight theme going on for a bit there. Rob started off with Ragnarok versus Fraggle Rock.
that would be something to see. Yeah.
Then Zan said Fraggle Rock versus The Rock in a dance-off.
Oh my!
And then Bill, of course, wanted to know, so is The Rock coming? And yes, someone, Dwayne Johnson will be there.
Somebody named that,
possibly.
I am sure, will be there.
Possibly
Dwayne
someone.
Johnson, very likely somebody with that name will be at DragonCon. But that does not mean I am already done. Oh wait,
Here's
oh,
Carol.
wait.
Okay, which
I
one's
have
true?
not. I don't know where to write anything.
Oh, it wasn't on your thing there?
It should
Okay.
show up on your little.
Okay. The first photo transmitted by transoceanic radio facsimile,
Oh, I see.
a precursor,
Okay.
a precursor to the modern fax machine, was a glamour shot of none other than blank. Now try to pick the correct answer. Somewhere in here is the correct answer. It's either John Boutel, a butt, Mona Lisa, Alexander Graham Bell, Calvin Coolidge, Woodrow Wilson, Elizabeth II, an orca, or Marilyn Monroe. First possible answer was Alexander Graham Bell, which was a lie, and it was the audience's lie. Mona Lisa was Jerry C's lie. John Boutel fooled somebody. I'm not sure. Was Lee's lie. Gary's just being generous. Marilyn Monroe
Oh, I actually did
was
think
not.
that was the right answer.
Well, I mean,
It's a good
it's gonna
answer.
be Queen Elizabeth
okay.
II was. I guess that's Simone's lie or $1 Mon's lie. That's Simone. I'm assuming.
I swear to God, if it's
Calvin Coolidge was the
it's
truth.
It jump-started the modern-day
That's
craze
pretty
of
funny.
sending people
No.
pictures of Calvin Coolidge.
That's
Probably.
pretty funny.
Wasn't it very a glamour shot of him? Okay.
Oh, looks like
Why is
Simone's
your mom have no idea
Simon
what
or Simon. I
We're
say
going
Simone.
down. In
Maybe.
1983, a Mexican plane did not have enough fuel to make it to their destination. They instead made an emergency landing on blank. Okay, enter those lies.
Okay, so Carol, you got it now?
It just says enter a lie.
Yeah, enter your line
Yeah,
to
that's it.
fill in the blank. In 1983, a Mexican plane did not have enough fuel to make it to their destination. They instead made an emergency landing on blank. That's where you would enter your lie. What do you think they did? Jerry does point out that The Rock did buy a house in the Atlanta area, so...
Maybe he will show up someday.
And houses are sometimes made of rock, so that works as well. And Fraggle Rock was a show. More about rocks later.
Spot
I
the
hope
truth.
I got that done.
In 1983, a Mexican plane did not have enough fuel to make it to their destination. They instead made an emergency landing on blank. The Disneyland parking lot, Tahiti. Oh, it's a beautiful place. Mount Shasta, a Carnival cruise ship, Rikers Island, an Irish racetrack, a taco stand, Main Street, New Orleans, a highway, or a Connecticut field. I think that is Quantico Field.
That's the FBI.
Yes.
You know Quantico, right?
Yes, I know what Quantico is. A Carnival cruise ship was Simon's lie. I guess I'm not exactly sure I'm supposed to read that. Rikers Island was Carrie's lie.
Nice answer. Nice one.
Main Street, New Orleans was Jerry's lie.
Which would have been funny, though. I gotta tell you.
The Disneyland parking lot was the audience's lie and caught a ton of people.
Way to go, audience.
A highway was Mighty Bill's lie.
Well, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Nobody picked this.
Irish racetrack.
Irish racetrack was their...
That was the truth.
Was the truth? What is an Irish racetrack?
Well,
I mean, I guess they never did say where they were.
Yeah, they didn't say.
They never did say where they were flying from.
Right.
Anyway.
I gotta get close to this one because I can't ever see them right.
Let's see if I can make this one bigger.
Eyes up here, people. The show's starting.
Talk. You yodeled to her, did you? Well, she liked it, didn't she? I'll say she did. Well, I had to do something to pass the time. You asked me to impersonate you. No excuse for you kissing her, Zero. But I was you. But I'm her husband. Well,
so was I. Scandalized
This
gasp.
1930s romantic comedy has a lot of old-timey antics, but it ends with a quote that we can all relate to. Thank heaven all my blank are blank. Submit your lies now.
All my exes are in Texas.
That's actually what I was. Yeah.
This 1930s romantic comedy has lots of old-timey antics, but it ends with a quote that we can all relate to. Thank heaven all my blank are blank. So you need 2 words there, I believe. Do 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 do. Put this.
Pop, 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 pop. Oh, there we go. Look, we're littles. We're littles at the bottom.
All right, pick the truth.
Oh, gotta go back the other way again. Okay, let's see. Thank heaven all my friends are imaginary. My exes are in Texas. Lies are the truth. Thank heaven all my sisters are triplets. What? Thank heaven all my husbands are dead. Thank God all my exes are dead. Thank God all my dreams are happy. My neighbors are rich. My friends are dead. My aunts are married.
Come on, show me what you picked.
Okay, neighbors are rich. Was the audience's lie.
Good one.
Continuing to rake in points. Lies are the truth. It's a Ruka's lie. Husbands are dead. Oh!
I'm sure glad I'm not married. Well, thank heaven all my husbands are dead.
Woohoo! I get a point.
That was the truth.
Yay! I need did points is.
Okay, let's see. I wanted to see what the audience's score is because, yeah, the audience is actually winning right now
Yeah.
with 3,000 or 30,000, whatever. Who cares? Points don't matter.
It's round 2, and that means the stakes are doubled.
Double
Let's
stakes.
see what we got.
Cheesesteak.
The song Yesterday by the Beatles was originally titled Blank. Enter your lies now.
Where's Rob? Where's Rob Levy?
He's around, or he was around.
He was around.
He's probably playing the Beatles somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
The song Yesterday by the Beatles was originally titled 1900. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything clever to say, which is why I don't play.
That's why you read them out, though. You read them out so very well.
No, that's fantastic.
Time to seek the truth.
The song Yesterday by the Beatles was originally titled blank. Was it Last Week, I Said Hey, Tomorrow, Scrambled Eggs, Dear Mr. Kennedy, Problems, Ham and Eggs, All My Troubles, or I Believe? All those sound pretty legitimate, except maybe Scrambled Eggs. Oh, maybe Ham and Eggs.
know.
Oh, that's interesting, though.
But that was during their Yellow Submarine and other things.
Yeah, so be sure to pick your truth.
All right, who picked what?
All My Troubles was Jerry C's lie. Excuse me. Ham and Eggs. Lee was fooled by Simon's lie.
And I thought it was great.
Also,
Oh, it was also Carrie Dane. What? Is that a thing that?
somebody's cheating off somebody.
Is that a thing that I don't know about? Because Carrie Dane also. Dear Mr. Kennedy was Jackbox's lie. Apparently somebody didn't fill in an answer. Scrambled Eggs was the truth.
Oh my!
God,
Needed
well,
the
that's
proper number of
hilarious.
syllables to create the tune, or maybe he was just hungry.
Scrambled eggs. All my pancakes are covered in syrup.
Oh, my answer was problems. I couldn't remember what I answered. That's why I'm looking at
Looks like Simon is
Simon
winning.
Because
Back
you
in the lead.
doesn't mean you stop being weird.
Up.
Oh, good heavens. Frances Carr, Countess of Somerset, once killed a man by giving him a poison-laced blank. All right, type in your lies.
Frances Carr, Countess of Somerset, once killed a man by giving him a poisoned-laced blank. What was that blank? Was it lace? Was it poison-laced lace? Was it poison-laced poison?
Do you remember PG-13? I already see we have way too many answers in before we said that.
Too quickly.
Okay, these are the choices.
All right. Was it scone, kiss, donut, fig, toupee, postage stamp, cookie, wine glass, necktie, or enema?
That's still PG. I'll allow enema as a PG-13.
It's fine. It is. It is. It's a clinical thing that happens. It's just
It does.
Frances Carr, Countess of Somerset, once killed a man by giving him a poison-laced enema. Wine glass was Mighty Bill's lie.
Good lie, Mighty Bill. You got me.
Fig was Lee's lie.
Yay. I got one.
Kiss was Simon's lie. Simon is killing it.
3. Jeez, Simon.
Postage stamp was the audience's lie. Ooh, the audience is making a comeback as well.
That was a good one.
Toupee was Martine's lie. That's Martine, right?
At least you're in this together.
Enema was the answer.
Oh my God!
I don't
was the
want to know
truth.
how she. Oh, I don't want to know how. First of all, how did they find that out?
I don't know. Simon's winning right now by over 3,000 points over the audience who's in
listen
second
up.
place.
Very odd. In 2018, Trevor York, an artist and author from the UK, penned an illustrated easy reference guide entitled How to Date Blank. Write your lies now.
In 2018, Trevor York, an artist and author from the UK, penned an illustrated easy reference guide entitled How to Date Blank. And I'll say werewolves.
There we go.
So,
Everything's
the
about
wolves that we thought about earlier today that are in urban fantasy are Teen Wolf, Wolf Like Me, right? But you're not doing anything on that this year because the only second season hasn't come out yet. You get the other wolves.
Come on now, let's get truthy.
Wolfpack. And whether or not this is the movie Werewolves Within, which might be in horror, but it probably maybe it's in urban fantasy, but I don't think you're doing anything for that movie anyway. Okay, so How to Date Furniture, a Duke, Americans, a second cousin. No, that was written by Rudy Giuliani. A serial killer, your enemy, my mother, a bird, or millennials. So is it furniture? How to Date a Furniture, a Duke, American, second cousin, serial killer, your enemy, my mother, or some other people. Your enemy was Carol's lie.
Ooh, good one, Carol.
Oh, finally, I got some.
Millennials, How to Date Millennials, was Carrie Dane's lie.
I actually thought that was a possibility.
That's a very good possibility. A serial killer was Lee's lie. Good job, Lee.
Thank you.
Americans was Simon's lie. To figure out who Simon is, they're killing it here.
Blew it.
Furniture.
Furniture is the follow-up to his 2017 book, How to Date Buildings, where York, like in Furniture, explains how to determine the age.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to date furniture. They tell you on Antiques Roadshow. I don't gotta date it.
All right, Simon's at 10,000. Audience is at 5,000. Close second actually is Carrie. I think it
6,000.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed who it was.
Welcome to the final fibbage. It's a two-part question, and it's worth triple the points. Good luck. Robert Fiddler got in trouble with the Surrey County Council when he blank without permission. And in a love letter, Kafka described a dream of his partner that ended, finally, somehow you blank. Now you're going to write one lie that sounds like it might fit in either of these two blanks. That's double the chance to fool your fellow players. Make it good, and it might get picked for both blanks and earn you a bonus. Sound good? Don't worry, I'll put a little extra time on the clock.
Okay, so our contestants now are trying to fill out the blank, one answer that fills in both blanks. The example given was fell asleep. So, in a love letter, Kafka described a dream of his partner that ended finally, somehow you fell asleep. The other one was, which was the blank, Robert Fiddler got in trouble with the Surrey County Council when he fell asleep without permission.
But the blank
that was the example. But the blank is fell asleep. Replace that. Those of you not watching and listening at home. Or possibly in the gym. Maybe in the car. Maybe you're grocery shopping.
Hey, we have people I know who listen to all of these as they're driving to DragonCon.
You could be doing it after DragonCon? That seems weird. Okay, but fine.
Driving to.
Oh, driving to. Okay.
So for now, just pay attention to this one. Select the truth for just this question now.
And the truths are two different answers, by the way. So, in a love letter, Kafka described a dream of his partner that ended finally, somehow you blank. Painted a house, danced on air, built a castle, took a bath, decorated a bush, died, killed a bug, danced, caught fire, or stole a space rock.
Let's move on to this question. Choose the truth for just this question now.
Okay, and the other one was Robert Fiddler got in trouble with the Surrey County Council when he blank without permission. Painted a house, danced on air, built a castle, took a bath, decorated a bush, died, killed a bug, danced, caught fire, or stole a space rock. All right, here we go. Painted a house was Lee's lie. She got 3 people on the county side of things. Danced on air was the audience's lie. Caught someone for Kafka.
That was
Kafka
me.
question. Died. Was Carol's lie for the county council
You got somebody,
side.
Carol, though.
Oh, there's also Martine's lie as well.
And Martine got somebody.
Believe
There
it
you
or
go.
not, it was
Woohoo.
also
Oh, it was also Mighty Bill's lie. 3 people.
That's a lot of lying,
Whoa,
folks.
whoa!
also
Yeah.
Simon also put died.
great
4
lines.
4 people, the same answer.
4. Wow.
Nice. Danced was Iruka's lie. Caught 3 people in that web. Built a castle. Caught a bunch of people. Was the truth? Ah,
Yep.
for the Surrey County side.
I've actually heard that story before.
Should've
So
picked this.
And the other one was caught fire. So the Kafka love letter was caught fire, and the other one, the council one, was they built a castle without permission. All right, let's see who's. Simon is the winner!
I came back a little bit, John. I was very happy, though. Yay! I didn't do it as
Yay!
bad as I could have. Yay, me.
Yay!
All right. Well, Carol,
All right.
thank you, as always, for being here. You're always so wonderful to chat with. Woohoo!
oh, thank you for having me. And I didn't get to mention while we
Oh,
were
please.
on air about our event, if you want to call that, aside from the horror picture show on Sunday evening. We will be having our we don't have a party, but it's as close as we're going to get, and it seems to be popular every year, and that is our Spooky Tales and Haunted Music event. With we have 4 people reading kind of, they're not always ghost stories, but something that's kind of spooky and scary, nothing gross, nothing gruesome, but with some underplaying by Valentine Wolf, and then followed by a concert by them. And that's late night, Friday night. So we hope that people will enjoy coming to that as they have over the past few years.
Cool. Very, very cool. That's Friday night, you said?
Yes.
You said, yeah, it's Friday night. And again, where is your room at the con?
It is Chastain 1 and 2, which that's if you come in street level, yes, Jerry, you will. And that's when you come in street level to the Westin.
Mm-hmm.
If you go, you're walking past the Apocalypse Rising, military,
Sci-fi?
Military sci-fi media.
Sci-fi media, yeah.
room. And if you walk past them and go all the way to the back behind the escalators, that's where we are. And our good
There we
friends
go.
were
Cool.
two
And that
floors up
means-
from us on the escalator.
And that's
So-
great, guys. Do you remember, y'all remember this? That's straight. You only got to go up those few steps right there at the Westin, and then just straight back. It's straight back
Yep.
till
That's
morning
right.
behind the escalator, so you can't get lost.
And somehow you're on the
Fun.
30th. And somehow you're on the 30th floor when you come off of the.
Somehow like that, yeah. But even
Somehow.
John couldn't get
Oh,
lost
yeah.
with that. Even John.
Yeah,
couldn't get lost
even
with
I
that.
don't get lost. All right. So until next time, Carol, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for
Thank
to
you.
you and your volunteers that put the con together and put the track together every year. We really, really appreciate that, and thank you for taking time at this busiest part of your day.
Oh my goodness.
And Jerry points out the Weston map is the only map you need to look up at your app on your app.
Not really, but okay. Unless that's true, unless you're John.
Unless
I'm just gonna say, unless you're John.
So, until next time, for Carol and Lee, this is John saying peace. Camera's over here. There we go. Peace.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Mwah.
This was a production of The Unique Geek. Call our comment line at 8133210TUG. That's 81332108884. Email us at thegeeks@theuniquegeek.com or 50days@theuniquegeek.com. Follow The Unique Geek on Facebook and Twitter. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.